Good morning, hustlers. Welcome back to the channel. It is quite early on a Sunday morning for us and we are already up and about. My dad is due to arrive in a bit. Well, the time is, let me just check, 7:24, and he said, I won't be that early, I won't be like 7. So he's gone 7 now, so that means in dad language, any time from now. So exciting times today. We are going to start putting some of the kitchen together. Those of you that have been around for a while, thanks for coming back to join us, and you'll know what we've been doing with our kitchen. Those that are new here, welcome. We hope you enjoy what you see. So kitchen wise, this is where we're at. Those of you that's seen the last few videos, all that stuff under there has been cleared out and moved into the living room. We've got one lovely unit that's bespoke made with our, I never know whether it's Belfast or Butler, but the aim is fitted kitchen, fitted units along there and along there with a worktop. We've got a lovely spice rack to go here, and we've got 2 big wooden shelves to go all along this wall. However, they have not arrived in time, so we're not going to be able to get those on today. I will still show you where we're going with the kitchen and where we get to, probably over the next couple of days. So we've got the kitchen's basically crates in the living room now, and that's where we're at there. So, who said all this homestead and renovation lark was easy? I don't know. It is pretty full on. I've got the grass done and the weed and feed, as you saw, so that's starting to work, I think. I don't know if you can see the grass. We'll go out and have a look in a minute. There's still some patches. Obviously, there's where we have our fire pit. We'll go and have a look. I'll show you the grass and what that looks like at the moment. You remember when it was all overgrown and then there was no grass, and then now we're trying to get to a decent point. But I need to go out and water the triplets, and you can come along with me. She's listening to the pigeons on the roof. Oh, it's a bit zoomed in there, isn't it? Let me take you back a little bit. Don't want to see that first thing in the morning. Right. Get the recycling in. I'm a good citizen. Now, remember the triplets? Tomato plant, pepper plant, and sweet pointed pepper plant. Well, I got them in the ground, and we're going to go and see if they've made it through the night. What I am going to say, what I'm really chuffed with, dug up the first bit of garden that we've ever dug up, and it is like rich black soil with all like white bits in it, just like you see when you get a compost bag. So I was quite pleased with that. It means it's very fertile, and apparently someone local we were speaking to said that about 400 or 500 years ago, I could be getting these dates completely wrong, so please, I'm not a historian, don't quote me on this, but where we're living was all under the sea. So the ground, that's why there's a lot of farms and a lot of agriculture around here, because the ground is so fertile. So I'm hoping that's, fingers crossed, for the homestead. But planted them up the back. Let's go and have a look. Oh, they're still intact, which is good. Let me show you. So we've got some tomatoes coming up. You can see. Still needs to grow quite a lot more. We have got a pepper coming on there, and there's a few little ones on there, little buds that are coming out there. So overall, pretty pleased this week with progress on the homestead, but this is just the start, as you know. And majority of times that I film and say I've got to do the lawn, I've got to do the weed and feed, I've got to do the lawn, I've never actually filmed just when the lawn's done. So let's have a look. I'm pretty pleased with that. Right, I've got to go and get those last few bits out of the kitchen before my dad gets here. And just a quick recap, for those of you that are new here, we are building a frugal homestead from scratch. We've escaped the 9 to 5 and we're just going for it. We're living our best life, but this week we focus on getting the next kitchen units in so we can have a proper, fully functioning kitchen. Are you ready to see? So my dad came up. He was here for a day and 3/4. So we worked out actual time working on getting the kitchen sorted was about 13 hours between us. Have a look at this. How nice. So we've got our kind of kitchen station there. It's a little bit messy at the moment because we still need to add a few more finishing touches, and we're going to have nice little kind of coffee vibes or something, some little signage there. We've got our nice sink unit that looks out. And can we have a bit of appreciation, please, for the weed and feed? I think he's actually starting to work a little bit on the grass. Now, you might think we've got quite a big gap here. Yes, there is a big gap. But we're having another unit that's coming in here. We need to, still finishing touches, right? This is not done. We need to add some skirting board along there. This is just for cat stuff. That's cat litter, but that's coming out of the way. Now the microwave is on the top here, but that's not going to stay there. That's just there temporarily. We're not going to have all these wires here. The microwave is actually going to go over here with all the pots and everything underneath. We've got our spice rack, which I'm loving already. Air fryer. And remember, we've still got 2 big wooden shelves to come. They're hopefully coming this week, so they're still going to be added. Now, we had a bit of worktop left over. Oh, sorry, I just want to show you again. I just really love it. This has really made it feel like home. We had a bit of worktop left over, so we knew the bin was always going to go there, so we sort of used, this is an extra bit of kickboard from underneath the cupboards down there that we had left over, so we braced that on and sturdied it up from behind, a couple of brackets on that pillar, a bracket down there, and then just added a bit of extra worktop. And I think that's really, it really makes it look longer. Let's see if I can show you a bit of a better view. But yeah, this is what we're dealing with now. I'm just so pleased with it, and obviously it's the first kitchen I've been involved with doing. My dad's fitted a few kitchens over the years, I reckon, but again it was essentially flat pack. The hardest bit was getting the worktop cut, and it's not 100% perfect. A couple of little chips here and there, but as we kept saying, we're a working homestead, we're doing things on a budget, and life is not about being perfect. And when I say chips, it was a tiny little bit on the cut edge, and we've actually covered that with an end panel, not an end panel, kind of a joiner anyway, so you can't even see that. But this was absolutely vital to me to start getting in cooking mode, because I've said before, you know, I had this nice little worktop here that's behind me with a sink. I've had that, and I've been able to kind of cook meals on it, no problem, been able to kind of cook and everything like that. But now I feel like I've got a proper space, that, not mine, because obviously it's Kel's house as well, but I kind of take on the role of the primary cook. Kel does cook the best chili though, so I will never do that. I'll get her to always do that. And Kel does cook as well, but I really enjoy cooking. I find it relaxing. If I want a bit of downtime, I think, oh, I'm going to try that recipe, or I'm going to try that. And obviously being part of a homestead and wanting to live this life, the kitchen was absolutely vital. I mean, there was only so much I could do with a collapsed kind of like decorating table. That every time you leaned over you had to kick the legs back out because it fell off, and we had plates piled on it and you never knew where anything was. Now I've organised all the drawers, all the cupboards, I've got all my stuff how I want it. And now I can get into not just cooking our dinners, I can actually think, right, we've got, obviously in the future, we've got an abundance of potatoes, we've got an abundance of tomatoes, we've got an abundance of carrots, I don't know, anything. And then I can start prepping it. And kind of storing it and batch cooking and that type of stuff, and that's something I'm really excited about. And that was something that not lured me into this life, because I've always wanted to do this sort of life anyway, but that's a big calling for me, is that I love doing that sort of stuff. And we're going to have an abundance of stuff in the garden. I just absolutely know it, because it is going to be a success and it's going to be fantastic. We've also, and I'm sure we'll show in a later video down the line once we get set up a little bit more, we've got a kind of water canner which we want to do. So we'll be definitely kind of preserving a lot of stuff, preserving our tomatoes and anything else that we can cook. We've tried pickling before, so we might do a bit more of that as well. But this is just another big tick in all the different plans that we've had and all the different phases. So, you know, phase 1 was finding a property, phase 2 was figuring out what needed to be done, phase 3 was when we were living in the van and we started to renovate. We also thought that when we first found somewhere, we was like, yeah, we'll just be fine living in a room, we'll work our way around it and it'll be absolutely fine. It doesn't work out like that. It was not feasible for us. We're quite, you know, we needed a bit of routine, we needed some comfort. And we're going to be working hard here, and you need it to work for you. So I'm sure there's little bits that we've put out in cupboards and on the side and everything like that that will move eventually once we start using this as a proper working kitchen. Oh, I'm sorry, Fizz has just come to say hello. Hiya. You a good girl? See, Fizz actually is not too keen on one thing, so now the worktop's gone in, she used the small little lower table to jump on, then she could jump over and get onto the windowsill, but she has been up here a couple of times. She loves it when the sun's going down in the evening, she just loves getting up on the top and looking out the window. Yesterday I just found her draped over the worktop when the sun was blaring in, so she loves a bit of golden hour, bless her. But yeah, this is the real start now, I think, of what we're trying to achieve. Especially in the cooking department. I mean, that's a massive part of the homestead life, right? Because we're going to have an abundance of stuff. What is the point of doing all that stuff if you're not absolutely going to utilise it? And we want to use it all to keep our food shopping budget, like we want to keep that drastically low. We don't want to be spending money that we don't need to. Yes, Fizz, I can hear you. We don't want to be spending money that we don't need to. We want to be living the slower pace of life, and that involves cooking and trying new recipes and... Anyway, I'm getting excited now because I've got my new kitchen, but I think I'm going to try a few little recipes today, see how I get on with it. But to be honest, when my dad went yesterday, I just kept coming in and looking in and just thinking, yep, he's still there. So I'm really pleased with it, really, really happy. He's done. We've all done an amazing job. Dad was amazing help, so thank you, Dad, if you're watching this. I know you watch our videos every week, so thank you so much. But now Kelly and I are going to live in it, and we're going to make it what it needs to be, a working homestead kitchen. So thank you all for following along. If you like what you see, hit the notification bell and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one. Lots more stuff to come on this homestead, guys. Thanks for following. See you later, hustlers.